The economy is about to collapse. You are about to lose all your savings. Nobody is talking about this. Welcome to the Money Revolution, the podcast where we empower one another to build wealth through the sharing of information and ideas about how money actually works. In today's episode, we are talking about the global financial collapse that is happening right now. We are on the edge of disaster. Let's start by firstly reminding you about some of the discussions that we had from our last episode. When governments print more currency, whether it be in rands, whether it be in pounds or Zimbabwean dollars, without actually increasing reserves, that currency becomes less valuable. Because that's exactly where societies land when they let their currencies lose their value. This has happened many times in history and will continue to happen in the future, as long as we use fiat currencies. Germany's story is of particular interest. Before World War I, Germany used the gold mark, a standard weight gold coin. But when the war broke out in 1914, the government decided to replace the gold mark with the paper mark. Then they financed the war by printing more paper currency. You'd wonder why. And the reason is because printing paper is way easier than actually mining gold. To make matters worse, after the war, they had to pay massive war penalties to both France and England. Germany was effectively broke. And so what they did is they went on and printed more paper. In fact, they printed more paper at an accelerated rate. And this is what happened. In 1914, one gold mark was equivalent to one paper mark. But by 1923, one gold mark was equivalent to a massive 1 trillion paper marks. For example, in January 1923, a loaf of bread cost 250 paper marks. But by December in that very same year, it would have cost you 200 billion paper marks to buy the same loaf of bread.
Are you serious?
Yes, 200 billion paper marks. Imagine buying your favorite combo meal that cost you 200 rands in January, and then by November, you are paying 200 billion rands as a consequence of inflation. Yes, that's what inflation does. It steals buying power from you, the currency holder. In Germany, people literally made fires with cash because it was cheaper than buying wood. Prices were doubling every 28 hours. Savings essentially became useless. Long-term thinking vanished. The streets were filled with paper that was once considered to be money. And here is the deeper danger. When the currency loses value rapidly, morality dies. People stop investing, they stop saving, and they also stop planning for the future. You lose your savings, your salary, your pension, your investments, they all start buying you less. Mo Africa, quick reminder that the paper in your pockets will perish. Gold and silver have stood the test of time. I am protecting my family and our stokvel savings by accumulating gold and silver coins to ensure that I benefit from the biggest wealth transfer that's coming. Now back to the episode. When more money is being printed, the value of the currency that you have already worked for goes down. This is why here at the Money Revolution, we want to help as many people as possible to prepare for the coming monetary reset. Yes, the system is about to change. So I guess the question that we need to ask ourselves is, what actually survives when paper currency dies? In Germany, if you held just one gold coin in 1918, you would have become a trillionaire in 1923. In Zimbabwe, if you had 1 ounce of silver in 2000, you become a multi-billionaire by 2008. Why though? Because precious metals store value. They are scarce. They carry intrinsic value no matter what happens to your political world or the banking system. So, if you have a gold or silver coin during a period of rapid rising inflation, purchasing power is being transferred to you. And if you don't, then the purchasing power is effectively being stolen from you. Gold and silver don't just promise value, they are value. Let's talk about the current situation. What most people actually do not realize is that what happens with the American dollar affects almost every country in the world. And it directly impacts the purchasing power of yours and mine. Here is how all of that happens. Most countries, including South Africa, hold their reserves in US dollars. If the US dollar were to collapse, all of these countries' currencies would be adversely affected. As an example, you work tirelessly every month, you save your money. Imagine if you were saving your money in Zimbabwean dollars. Where would you be today? Your savings would be worthless. Now back to the US dollar. America is spending more and more on wars. Since 1980, America's military spending has increased by more than 62%, and this spending continues to increase in today's world in Ukraine, in Israel, and also in other parts of the world. In the same way that Zimbabwe funded the Congo War and Germany funded the First World War, America is essentially funding its military expenditure by printing more and more paper currency. In fact, in the last 10 years alone, America has increased its currency within circulation from 11 trillion American dollars to 22 trillion dollars. This has led to America being downgraded for the first time since 1919 by Moody's. Yes, Moody's. Do you guys remember how the downgrade was so bad on South Africa's economy?
S&P Global has unexpectedly downgraded the country's credit outlook from positive to stable. Now, it cited the country's persistent infrastructure issues and power outages as reasons behind the downgrade.
America is broke. Yes, abasanemali labantu seyaphela. It's no longer about their economics. It's essentially all about faith and how long people will keep believing in a paper backed by nothing. When the US dollar collapses, so will most currencies in the world, including yours. Thank you for joining us on this fiery episode of The Money Revolution. Now, if you found this episode insightful, hit the subscribe button below and share it with someone that you care about. To also get notified about our next episodes, hit the notification bell and please share your questions with us in the comments sections below. Let's wake up the masses. Let's understand how money really works and take our power back one conversation at a time. And remember, if it's paper, it will perish.